I got a new video. Alesia Michelle, I'm ready to go. Eurovision fam, are you ready for the show? Hey Eurovision fam, it's Alesia. It's day 3 of rehearsals here in Lisbon, Portugal, and it's the first half of semi-final 2. I'm gonna basically just give you my recap, reactions for how I thought the day went, and notes for some of the performers. Disclaimer, as you guys know, I like to give constructive criticism. I'm not trying to bash anybody. That is not what I am here to do. I want everyone to do their best. Ultimately, I really do. So let's kick it off. We're gonna kick it off with Norway. Norway was first up to bat today. Now, you guys know I'm not a huge fan of the song, so we don't even really need to go there. But I will say this, the staging is good. The staging matches the performance. Alexander is being his perfect, charismatic self. And yeah, I mean, I thought the staging was a lot like what we saw in the national final, but just amped up a little bit more for the Eurovision stage. And to be honest, I don't even know if they really would have changed things a lot, because with a song like this, I think the way that they've decided to interpret it is actually the way that is probably the best venue or vehicle to kind of promote and sell this song. I'm still not convinced. I'm still not convinced. Look, I can say that this is a good performance. It's done well for what it is. I mean, it's a simple song. The vocal is not doing anything challenging or interesting, in my opinion. So for me, I don't like it anymore, but I also don't necessarily like it less because of the staging. But again, I was kind of hoping that maybe something would happen on stage to elevate it a little bit more, but that's not what's happening, and I guess that's not really the spirit of the song, and that's perfectly fine. But yeah, I just feel like this song isn't for me, and that's okay. It might be for you, and so you can just like it and consume it. So Norway doesn't have anything to be worried about. I already know that Norway is shooting up in the betting odds. I will say this though, I cannot have Norway win this year. I just, quite frankly, cannot have that happen. So although I think this is a good performance, and I think the staging is good, there are just some higher quality songs this year, and I just hope that one of those wins. Just my opinion. Up next is Romania. Okay, I'm gonna start off with the positives. The singer looks great. I love her styling. That dress that they have her in is amazing. This purple jewel tone number. The styling also looks modern, like it's not them tired mesh illusion fashions that are not even current right now. They're not. She looks good. The jewel tones are on trend. She sounds great. She is a great vocalist. She has always sounded good. There wasn't a bum note anywhere. They've decided to keep the strange Jabberwocky masks. I don't know if y'all know who the Jabberwockies are, but they're like this dance group or whatever, and I'm not into it. I'm not into it. The staging to me is strange. It does not make sense, and it looks crazy. Sidebar. So I went on a food tour last night in Lisbon. It was awesome. I had a great time, and I was with a group of Brits, and they essentially were like, well, what are you doing in Lisbon? And I was like, well, I'm here for the Eurovision Song Contest. And they all busted out laughing like, oh, you know that song contest is like a joke and it isn't good and it's like amateur and blah, blah, blah. And in my mind, I was kind of like, I'm just gonna let y'all have this because you don't really know what you're talking about. And this is why you guys keep performing poorly, because no one seems to be like taking it seriously. Even though I do think the UK is taking it seriously this year and has in recent years been taking it seriously, so I'm happy about that. Yeah, like I just feel like if I showed my friends in America this performance, they would just be like, what the hell is going on, and not into it, and then just assume every other act is like on that level. It's just something about the staging that just feels a bit kitsch and camp for the sake of being kitsch and camp, and it doesn't have any intentionality behind it, and everything has to be intentional. I'm sorry, everything has to be intentional. I just kind of wish that they would have kept it simple. There's some weird movement in it, and it's like, why couldn't y'all just be a rock band and actually just sing the song? Because to be blunt, If they just did that, I definitely think Romania would have a chance at qualifying because, like I said, the styling is good, other than the mask, and the singer sounds good. And the song is not bad. It's not one of my personal favorites this year. I don't necessarily think it should qualify, but it could qualify if they kept the staging simple and just focused on showcasing the song. Serbia. Now, you guys know that I've been kind of like on the fence about Serbia. I don't really dislike the song. I just feel like this year is so strong. And this song is just a little bit weaker than the other songs, in my opinion. But I will say they elevated this performance with the staging. The staging actually looked good. Now they just have to get the camera angles right. They have these movements where the girls are like posted up, kind of like Charlie's Angels and stuff like that. And I don't hate that, but I wish we didn't see all of it all at the same time. It's a bit jarring. And I wish that they would tighten up the camera angles so then you get to see them from different angles. With them kind of standing out posed, it looks a little bit weird. And in this age of like women's empowerment, I just feel a little bit like these women kind of posed like mannequins around this like super tall dude. I don't know about it. But again, the styling is good, and I do think the staging overall elevated the song for me. I still think Serbia is going to be in trouble this year. I really do. I still think they should be concerned. But I think if they tighten up those camera angles and get those camera shots looking real good, I think Serbia's got a great act on its hands that they can be proud of. San Marino. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to do a longer video just reacting to San Marino because I have questions about San Marino and this performance, but I'm going to keep it brief for you guys because I just want to do a quick review, recap of the day and these rehearsals, so I'll do a separate video of my reaction to San Marino, so just check out for that. Let me just tell you that the song was already weak. We know this. This is not a surprise. And I feel like San Marino just wanted to make it weaker with the staging. I mean, Jessica was actually in, well, Jenny B and Jessica were both in, like, to me, street clothes. Like, I was kind of like, wait, are these your outfits? They had a note where everyone was supposed to wear their final costume so that they can get lighting right and everything. I really hope that this is not the final styling because the styling just looks so basic. I mean, they literally look like they bought those clothes off the rack at Deb. And I just don't think that that's fair to either performer. I think both of them deserve to look cute. And it was crazy because Jessica was in like a hoodie, a t-shirt and jeans, and then Jenny B was in like a blazer. And I kind of was like, well, Jenny B's supposed to be kind of like, you know, like bring in a little bit of a hip hop element. Like, why is she not wearing a hoodie? And at the beginning of the performance, I guess Sarah Alto was like, hey, we're not using my cape anymore, so if y'all need something, San Marino, like, I'll give this to you. And then they were like, great, how can we use this? And it was like, you really should have just thrown it in the trash because you don't need it for this performance. But at some point, San Marino was just like, yeah, sure, we'll take it, and we'll throw it on Jessica at the beginning of the performance. It looks ridiculous. It looks really, really ridiculous, so they just need to drop that entire thing because the robots are still there. I don't know why, but they are. So, yeah, San Marino, we weren't really checking for you before, and this rehearsal didn't help. And it could have. I don't even know where to begin to make this performance better, but I think a good place to start would be with the styling. So there's a mall right across from the arena. And if you want some help, I would love to go shopping with y'all, like for real. Like, and I'm actually being honest because I think at minimum, like people deserve to look good on stage, and this is going to be broadcasted internationally. And I think at minimum, people should look cute. And it's a performance. It shouldn't look like something just bought off the rack, you know? But real talk, we could go find some stuff that's bought off the rack that looks better than what they have now. So I would really love that to happen. Denmark. I don't have a lot to say about Denmark because Denmark, I wasn't thinking that this performance wasn't going to, you know, shine today. Denmark was good. They basically took exactly what they did in the national final and brought it here to Lisbon, which I think is exactly what they should have done. So I was happy to see that. And Denmark's good. I expect Denmark to sail into the final. I don't see how it doesn't make it. It sounded great. It looked great. Denmark, see you in the final. Russia, look. This was one of the performances I think I was most curious to see how they were going to translate it, because Russia does staging. I know you've probably seen some other people's reactions to this, and I will tell you from the sense I got in the press room, I think people weren't really feeling it. I'm going to be honest, I really liked it. I actually thought the staging itself was great. Now, I will say, there is a dance portion, and we do have dancers for the performance, which I think is a great touch. I think dancers were needed to tell this story and to really bring this performance to life. I'm going to be honest, I'm not completely sold on the exact choreography. I think the choreography might be a little too contemporary dance, if I'm being honest. But I will say that I watched the entire performance and I was engaged. I didn't get bored. People at home are going to watch this and they're going to stay in their seats to watch it. I'm not going to lie, people might take a bathroom break on Serbia because visually it wasn't dynamic enough. That's why I said Serbia should really think about tightening up those camera shots, because if they tighten up the camera angles, I think that'll help a lot. But with Russia, I mean, people are going to sit and watch it. The mountain is back. Julia is atop the mountain. I will say I wish they did more with the lighting on the mountain. I think, and of course it was a first rehearsal, so maybe there's still some improvements that could be made. And I just think if we lightened up the mountain and maybe made it a little bit more interactive, a la Estonia's dress, I think that would be really cool. Julia was definitely a little pitchy, but it didn't sound bad. It did not sound horrible to me. They do have backing singers helping her out. I will say that one of those backing singers better wisen up, because I did hear some bum notes from the backing vocalist, and that should never happen, okay? Like, you're not even out front doing anything. Ain't no camera even really on you. You need to sing the notes on that piece of paper, boo-boo, promptly. Like, we can't have you hitting bum notes. That just cannot happen. And Julia looked good. The makeup was good. The styling was good. I'm telling y'all, I just can't see Russia not qualifying. If it doesn't qualify, cool, okay. I won't be like heartbroken if it doesn't qualify, but I'm having a hard time not see it qualify. And honestly, with this staging, the staging is good, in my opinion. Moldova was great. Moldova is qualifying. Moldova put on a show. It was good. The styling, start to finish, it was something to watch. And it was kind of like giving us Eurovision kitsch in a cute way, because the song is so fun. It fits. Where some songs are being kitsch and it feels like trite and contrived, this feels like, no, we are supposed to be doing this exact thing. It's like everything is just perfectly timed. Moldova was great. I think Moldova is qualifying, and honestly, they should. The vocal was tight, the choreography was tight, the styling was tight. I will say, I think I'd like to see another dress on the lead singer. I think if they have another option, let's try it out. I like the color of it, but the style of it, I just felt like I like her in a dress, but I like the styling in the music video a lot. So if that could be, one of those dresses could be dusted off for her to wear, well, her and the other dancer, I would be into that to see what that would do. Yeah, Moldova is just giving us Eurovision magic. And these are kind of the performances we want to see. It's a little bit like elevated cruise ship, but I say that in a good way. It's elevated cruise ship. The Netherlands. Okay, so y'all know the Netherlands is one of my favorites. I'm actually going to do a full reaction. It's going to have its own standalone reaction because I have a lot of things to say about the Netherlands. If I had to sum up one word for the Netherlands, it would probably be problematic. There was a lot of things happening that kind of should not have been happening on that stage. Waylon could just be singing the song kind of like the way Dow Bob did it. We could have just had Waylon with his band singing on stage. Instead, we have band members that are also breakdance, juke, hip-hop dancers. And the optics of it is strange. One, the two do not go together. It doesn't match. Please stop trying to make it happen. It won't happen. It's not going to happen. And if it were to happen, it wouldn't happen because you decided to do this at Eurovision. Point blank. Again, I love the Netherlands, and I have this song in my top 10. And like I said, I'm gonna do a longer video about it, but to sum it up, like, it was just very disjointed. Waylon's styling, he has on a cheetah jacket and it looks terrible. He needs to take that off and burn it. Like, he should not wear that. It looks foolish. And then he's got his belt buckle strap that has his name on it. And it's like, we know who you are. No one's gonna steal your guitar backstage. Like, we don't need that. It's just distracting. It's distracting us from the fact that, one, Waylon is fine as hell. He looks amazing and is sexy as fuck. Oh. And he has an amazing voice, and we don't get to see it and experience it because there's so many things happening on stage that just should not be happening. But he sounded good, so I'll say that. He sounded great. We're gonna wrap it up with Australia. Australia, It was crazy because a lot of people were thinking that Australia was about to get 12 points. And I'll tell you right now, with that staging, it is not 12 points worthy. There is a lot that needs to be tightened up about that stage show. I think Jessica looks great. She looks good, except for the fact that they gave her this meaningful movement that I don't feel like is reflective of her. I think Jessica Mauboy is just such a friendly, accessible girl. And the movement they're giving her is kind of diva, Eleni, even a little bit of Franca from Croatia, choreography, you know, hair flipping. And it's like, you're just not really that girl. Like, you're cute. Have fun on stage. Like, actually, the meaningful movement that I think Jessica should have is kind of the meaningful movement that Suri is giving us, where you're just connecting with people and you're feeling it. Not this diva flipping your hair and going all over the place foolishness. Like, it just is like, that's not you, boo. That's not you, girl. You're not that girl. And I guess it's too late to change that, maybe. Other than that, they have, the lighting looks good. The camera angles, a little lazy. I feel like I had the same note for Greece, where it's like, it almost looks sometimes like the camera's not supposed to be there, so it's like dragging its way to get there. And it's like, wait, no, wasn't the shot just supposed to be this? So why aren't we just cutting to that shot? It's like we're dragging to get there, and it looks lazy. So I think all those angles just need to be tightened up. But Jessica looks good. I will say she was pitchy. She was definitely pitchy on stage. So that vocal definitely needs to be tightened up, because if you're trying to be a 12 points country, Australia this year, that vocal needs to be flawless. Because if all else fails, even if she's still doing the meaningful movement that doesn't seem to fit her and the camera angles stay lazy, she can still get 12 points off of that. I could still see her getting 12 points off of her vocal, but not if it's pitchy. Not if it's pitchy. It has to be perfection. And luckily it's Australia, so I know they're gonna look over this tape and tighten up everything, so I'm not even really worried. Well, that was what I thought. What do you think about what I had to say? Talk to me in the comments below. You know this is a conversation. Don't forget to like this video if you like it. And of course, subscribe. You know I got so much more content coming your way. So let's get ready and get excited for Eurovision 2018.